The first ever sports show for kids by kids. Rookies, Sunday at 12:40 on 4.
On your movie watch this week, the sisters are out for blood in The First Wives Club. Victory down under for the common man in Mr. Reliable. Boating drama True Blue. And I talked to Vincent Perez. Hurrah! That's Movie Watch, 6 o'clock Mondays on 4.
Hi, I'm Terrell Davis of Denver Broncos. You're watching Channel 4, home of American football.
As you heard before the titles, the man with the touchdown initials is on the show this week, the Broncos' phenomenal Terrell Davis. Then we've got a full 15-rounder between his lot and their old AFC West rivals, the Oakland Raiders. Violence and intimidation in Pittsburgh is what got this week's subject into the Hall of Fame. It's a profile of the Steelers' mean Joe Green. And we finish up with the most valuable players from the second month of the season. Good morning. Well, to no one's surprise, the American presidential race turned out to be about as close as most recent Super Bowls, but with less interesting commercials. Of course, in the NFL, a change of administration is possible right up until the last game of the season. And although the NFC has won the last 12 Super Bowls, there are definite signs of life in the AFC this season. Nowhere more than in Denver, where the Broncos have the best conference record and the top rusher in the league in Terrell Davis. Not bad for a 6th-round draft pick who didn't even expect to survive his first training camp.
When I got drafted, to me, the first thing that I realized was this team never came and worked me out. So I'm like, how are they drafting me? My first thought was I was just going to be strictly roster bait. Come to camp, do a little scout team, and then, be released. When I got here, I saw a different story. I came and I saw that football in the NFL was similar to what I played in college. So I said, well, I can do this. Came out there to practice, played with some of the people on the team, got used to the scheme, and I realized that I could make the team if I came and worked hard, because the situation would allow me to excel.
Which he did, becoming the lowest draft choice in history to run for 1,000 yards in his rookie season. Not that 1,000 yards was what he was aiming at exactly when the season started.
My objectives were to not make mistakes, not really to be a liability to the team, to go in there, be consistent in my play, and just try to help the team win. That was my only focus, and everything else took care of itself. And I thought it was a pretty good year.
Good enough to catapult him out of the ranks of the NFL's hourly paid and into the super tax bracket. In the off-season, the Broncos ripped up Davis's $160 grand a year contract and signed him to a new 5-year deal worth nearly $7 million. Of course, with the swollen bank balance came increased expectations, and he knew coming in that what was a pleasant surprise last year would be the bare acceptable minimum this season.
I learned not to play to anyone else's expectations. Play to your own. Play to what you can do, and that's what I'm doing this year.
Davis, on his way. Can anyone catch him? 30, 20, Terrell Davis, touchdown!
When I go into a game, I don't think about the fans. I don't think about people wanting me to run for 150 yards. I believe I'm not being paid to run for that many yards. I'm being paid to go in there and help this team win.
Nonetheless, the modest Mr. Davis has also helped himself to the lead in the race for the rushing title, leaving backs like Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith a football field's length behind him.
I mean, I don't think I'm an Emmitt Smith or a Barry Sanders or Ricky Waters or anything like that. I think, maybe the numbers say that right now, but I don't think I'm the best right now. I don't feel that way.
He's got everything you look for in a running back. He's got deceptive speed. He's got great cutting ability. He can catch the football. He can block like a fullback. And he's, knock on wood, that guy that's been able to stay healthy.
Although that's not entirely true. Davis is leading the league in rushing despite having to sit out parts of several games this season because of a health problem that's troubled him since he was 7 years old, migraine headaches.
When they come to me, it's not like I push a panic button or if I say that football's triggering these migraines, because I'll get them so much more off the field than I do on the field. I think the biggest thing is not the fact that it's pain, that you feel the headache so much. I think it's the fact that, you get sick. I mean, you feel nauseated. Yeah, you vomit. I mean, it just feels like you're out of commission. For me, it can last 4 days. I mean, it lasted one time a week. Light kills me. Sounds kill me. Probably the biggest thing that happens to me on the field is the fact that I have a visual problem. And that's what's taking me out of the ball games now, is the fact that I'm missing 10, 15 minutes, the fact that I can't see. It's not the migraine itself, it's just my vision is not clear.
At 24, a lot of players look no further than the end zone and their next bonus, but Terrell is planning ahead with an eye on Denver's favourite sporting son, John Elway.
I want to be to this city what John is, right now. Hopefully another 6, 7 years, 8, hopefully, 9 years, if that. And, try to come into this city and be what John is to Denver right now.
With Elway and Davis on the same team, though, a lot of Broncos fans are thinking about the more immediate future, and the possibility that there might be a Super Bowl in it.
I was dreaming last night. I didn't dream about the Super Bowl. I woke up and I was just thinking about it. I was just saying to myself, this is the year we have to go. And we have all the essentials that's necessary for us to go to the Super Bowl.
Spoken with the innocence of someone who's too young to have been around for any of Denver's 4 Super Bowl defeats. He has a point, though, that although he's far too good-mannered to say it himself, Terrell Davis has established himself as one of the essentials. Well, this week the Broncos took their Super Bowl hopes and the AFC's best record on the road to play their divisional rivals, the Raiders. Unless we should give the impression that Denver's success is all down to TD, we should mention that John Elway is having the best season of a brilliant career and has the Broncos off to their best start for a decade. Perhaps it's 13 seasons of accumulated karma, but after doing it by himself all these years, Elway not only finds himself with a running back he can rely on, but a defense too. The Broncos are averaging 3 sacks and an interception a game. You can crunch the numbers all day in Oakland, but the basic truth is that with Jeff Hostetler healthy, they win most of the time, and without him, they lose. At the moment, Hoss is playing, and the Raiders have a 3-game winning streak. Their defense can still cause havoc too when it's not leading the league in penalties, and if they play up to their potential, Oakland's defensive line can generate the kind of pressure that will test Elway's mobility. It was a Monday night game in Oakland, and as we join Al Michaels, Frank Gifford and Dan Deardorff, the commentary team, it's Denver who've won the toss and received the kickoff.
First down from the 20-yard line with Ed McCaffrey in motion. Elway faking to Davis and then pump faking. The line buys him a lot of time, and then the pass goes through the hands of Terrell Davis. So he checked off and looked toward Davis, but it went through his hands. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Vaughn Hebron is in the backfield on 2nd and 10. That's Hebron in motion. Everybody into the pattern as Elway escapes a sack and then has it intercepted at the 37 by Lorenzo Lynch. So the Raiders take the ball away in the first minute of play, and Oakland has it at the 27 of Denver.
One that John would like to have back, no question about that. He was tripped up a little bit as he delivered the football, trying to go downfield. Well played by Lorenzo Lynch. Shannon Sharp, intended receiver.
From the 27.
And down goes Sharp, and stepping right in front of it, Lorenzo Lynch.
Mike Jones knocked him down, but there was no flag. First down at the 27-yard line.
I mean, how there's no flag? Who has any idea? That's blatant interference.
Blown call. Pass from Hostetler to Napoleon Kaufman. He dances out of bounds inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal as Gary Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, goes over things with Elway. In the meantime, the Denver defense will have to step in here. 1st and goal for Oakland. Again, Sharp getting tripped by Jones here.
Jones beaten badly on the play, intentionally leans down as he's falling and grabs. That's on purpose right there. He leans out, intentionally trips Shannon Sharp, and that ends up in the interception by Lynch. John Elway was throwing the football to the spot where he thought Shannon Sharp was going to be.
And Jones got away with it.
Big time.
Hoffman from the 8 to the 4. Flag is down. It'll be 2nd and goal pending the flag. In fact, there are 2 flags down. The refereeing crew tonight headed by Jerry Austin in the white cap.
John Mobley on the tackle.
Holding call sends it back to the 18-yard line and makes it first down and goal. 5-man Denver rush, flushing Hostetler. Jeff on the move, inside the 10, goes down at the 5-yard line. It'll be second down and goal.
Inside the 6. Myron Braxton on the coverage.
Second down and goal from the 6. And here's Kaufman back of Fenner, but nowhere to roam. He stopped at the 5. Third and goal. Dan Williams with the tackle.
One position we will be watching tonight, Randy Hilliard is opening for Lionel Washington at the right cornerback for the Denver Broncos. And you can be certain that Mike White, we had a moment look at him a moment ago, the head coach will be trying to get some kind of a matchup against Hilliard.
Hostetler leads him up to the line of scrimmage. And Tim Brown is in the backfield, at least for the moment, then starts in motion and works out of the slot. And Hostetler will run for the end zone and get there. Touchdown Raiders.
We have two of the finest at doing just this here tonight, John Elway and Jeff Hostetler. Both will take that run if you give it to them. He pulls it down. He knows he can get 6 yards. A good scrambler, maybe not quite as effective as John Elway, but a good scrambler, Jeff Hostetler.
Working that side of the field exclusively. Never even looked anywhere to the right.
Cole Ford, meanwhile, just does kick it through.
To make it 7-0 Raiders. We pick it up with the Broncos back in possession after an exchange of punts.
Denver begins this drive from the 32-yard line, and John Elway with a short drop decides to take off. And Elway, who ran for 62 yards last week, is close to a first down. Tracked down by Eddie Anderson up at the 41-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 1.
Once again, Albert Lewis took Shannon Sharp out of the play. They had him lined up man for man. He apparently is going to shadow Sharp as much as he can tonight, and that was where Elway wanted to go. Problem was, when you take Elway out of it, he can still motor. He had 62 rushing yards last week against Kansas City. Both these quarterbacks very agile.
7:07 to go in the quarter. 2nd and 1. Davis swings to the outside, and the 6th-round draft choice out of Georgia picks up a first down. Lance Johnstone making the tackle. Terrell Davis trying to regain the NFL rushing lead. He was leading coming into the weekend, but since the Broncos, because they're playing tonight, have played one fewer game than most of the teams in the league, Terrell has yielded that mantle for the moment to Jerome Bettis.
He just got over 900 yards at that point, and more importantly, he powered through the big defensive end to get the first down.
First down at the 44-yard line. And Elway guns one to Anthony Miller, another member of that arsenal. He takes it to the 50-yard line. 2nd and 4 from the 50. 5:45 left in the quarter. Oakland leading 7-0. Elway fires to the outside, and Sharp makes the catch, but he's on the chalk, out of bounds.
He never controlled it.
From behind, Shannon Sharp working right in front of the Denver bench. Oh, and it's the left that's out.
5 wide receivers in this set. And Elway nearly gets tripped up, but stays on his feet and goes off roughing for a first down. Chased by Pat Swilling, who almost tripped him from behind. Instead, Elway has a 17-yard pickup.
Boy, and when you put your 4 wide receivers in there, you take them all deep, you get the coverage all deep, and you get the linebackers that miss at the line of scrimmage, then Elway, when he breaks out of there, has got a long way to go without anyone even near him.
Elway has already rushed for 26 yards tonight on 2 carries. And going nowhere, Mike Jones making the tackle on Aaron Craver on his first carry of the night. Craver normally the blocking back, but occasionally carries the ball. 2nd and 13 from the 35-yard line. Inside handoff, Terrell Davis fights for room and picks up 9. There appeared to be very little space for Terrell to maneuver, and he takes it to the 26-yard line, and a pretty good example there why this guy in his second year comes into the game averaging 5 yards per carry. The league average is 3.8.
And now he's just impacted this entire offense. You have to respect Denver now for their run game like you have never had to respect him in recent years. Terrell Davis just makes such a difference. That makes John Elway so much more effective, their passing game so much more effective. They are a well-rounded offense now, a very good offense, number 1 in the league, as a matter of fact.
And gives Gary Kubiak a lot of options. 3rd down and 4. Elway with great protection, then guns it to the 12-yard line, caught by Shannon Sharp, to whom I referred at the top as the tight end / wide receiver. He lines up as a conventional tight end about 70 to 75% of the time, but they flex him a lot, and he is having a career season. And that line tries to provide some space for Davis, who takes it to the 10-yard line. Gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8 with 3:05 to go in the quarter. It is 2nd and 8 for Denver at the 10. Oakland leading 7-0. Away the bootleg, and then everybody is covered, and the pass is incomplete. Dwayne Carswell, the nearest receiver. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Elway out of the shotgun, stepping up, under pressure, scrambles for time, throws, caught in the back of the end zone by Shannon Sharp. Vintage Elway.
But watch Elway, now watch Sharp. He's right in tune with Elway. He knows the quarterback is in trouble. He looks back, he sees him in trouble. Now watch him break back towards the middle, giving Elway a target. He's got his arms up in the air.
Jason Elam for the point after Shannon Sharp hauls in his 8th touchdown pass of the season.
Both defenses got on top in the second quarter, which produced only a couple of Jason Elam field goals to make it 13-7 Denver at halftime. We'll have the second half for you after the break.
I'm here to promote the special edition course of Vegas, but I got carried away and blew the budget. So I persuaded Jeff here to film me with his camcorder. That's enough, Jeff. I'm so sorry, Vauxhall. I love the Corsa. I can still do it. Action! The gorgeous Corsa Vegas comes with 700 pounds worth of extras free, including central locking and sunroof, the board. The Corsa Vegas from Vauxhall, the small car with the big personality.
If your company's worldwide distribution needs are proving to be a hot potato, pass them over to us. Parcel Force can design and manage a distribution system to suit your business, and yours alone.
I really hate getting overdrawn. I thought I would have done this month, actually, because, well, my car insurance was due. Anyway, I went with the AA, and I'm still in credit. I can't believe it. AA car insurance cost less than I thought.
Call direct on 0800 444 777.
In Fighting Vipers, first you have to master the power moves, but to totally humiliate your opponent, fight without armor. UK, that might be too tricky for you just now.
You're tuned to Ray on Reef Radio. Wishing farewell to my good buddy Franco, who's been lured away to the big city for a measly 100% pay raise. So it's goodbye to sleepy old Reef Harbor. No more days at the races. No more nights on the town. You're gonna miss popping out for seafood. And I know you'll miss the way they serve Bacardi around here. But if you gotta go.
Looking for a car that's sensible, good around town, and with room for the whole family?
Look elsewhere, boyo, because Tire Storm ain't it. When Tire Storm rises up, it blows everything away. Watch. Watch its RPM tires expand to explode off the line to scale speeds of over 200 miles per hour to leave ordinary RCs in the dust. When Tire Storm rises up, it blows everything away.
Every year, British Airways looks after the hopes and dreams of 30 million people. British Airways, the world's favorite airline.
Welcome back. The third quarter in Oakland looked much like the second, with both offenses struggling to move the ball. As we join the fourth, Denver have padded their lead to 16-7 with another field goal. Oakland are driving from their own 36.
Toss throws, caught by Brown. And Brown takes it to the Denver 40-yard line. And that's a good way to begin the turning point.
Yes,
as
it is.
Braxton makes the tackle.
He's the right guy to make it turn. They need 2 scores. They need a touchdown and a field goal to take the lead.
Toss and run. They've been doing it for a lot of years. Tim Brown turns a little something over the middle into a big gainer.
It's the 4-man rush. That one is caught by Hobbs. Darryl Hobbs, a 9-yard gain. Torrey James, the rookie corner out of LSU, makes the stop, 2nd and 1. Greg Robinson.
A gain of 9 yards. What the heck is that?
And a no-huddle offense now for the Raiders.
Yep. Means don't choke and keep your eye on the ball. 2nd and 1. Harvey Williams, first down and a lot more. Tackled by Braxton at the 16, and then Braxton slings him to the turf, or tried to, and that provokes a flag. Holding against Oakland. It's James Jett on Randy Hilliard, we think.
Oh, baby.
This will be number 10 and a killer.
Oh, I think this might be number 11 even.
Number 82 of the offense. 10 yards. Repeat, second down.
That is James Jett.
Ball at the 36-yard line. 2nd down and 4. Down by 9. Hostetler fires over the middle. And somehow it's Ricky Dudley making the catch. Torrey James appeared to have made the interception and can't believe he didn't come up with the football. First down.
Oh, yeah. That's about as fortunate a hop as a football can take. If Denver ends up scoring, if Oakland ends up scoring, rather, they can look right at that play.
Raiders out of the no-huddle again as Williams takes the ball on the 15-yard line.
And if I'm the Raiders, I stay with this no-huddle. They've had success with this before. I'd stay right with it.
Second down, 4. Ball at the 15-yard line.
It's not a hurry-up offense. It's just calling the play at the line of scrimmage, keeping Denver from changing their defense.
A la Buffalo. And that's incomplete. Intended for Hobbs on the 2nd and 4. It's now 3rd and 4. Tyrone Braxton with the coverage. And the clock right now down to 7:28.
Well, huddle or no huddle, I think this is the point where you look in the huddle or at the line of scrimmage, you find number 81 and say, make a play for us. We have to have it here.
Now they'll go back into the huddle because they substituted. Brought in an extra receiver. Harvey Williams came out.
Very large play. 3rd down, 4 from the 15-yard line. A little floater caught by Fenner. Inside the 10. Touchdown Raiders.
Yes. Great call. The Raiders showing their first signs of offensive life in quite a while.
Good little fake to Tim Brown. Dump it off to Finner, and a good move back to the inside by Finner.
Haas almost overthrew him.
That's 8 touchdowns in 9 games against Denver for Fenner. So it doesn't matter what uniform he wears, he kills the Broncos.
And it's his 3rd touchdown reception of this year.
And after stifling the Broncos offense, the Raiders got the ball right back.
This is now become a barn burner.
It has, from the 46-yard line. First down for Haas, who throws, and it's caught. Great catch by Brown in the arms of Crockett.
KJ would like the Haas, too. He was...
Bill Musgrave, the backup quarterback, just in case, begins to loosen up. The Raiders are at the 42. They stay with a no huddle. 5:25 left in regulation.
The huddle has been abandoned by the Raiders.
And despite that, Haas staying very much in command.
Well, he's still got over 10 seconds left on the play clock.
Patiently making the call at the line. Here come the Broncos. They pick up the blitz. Haas going deep, wide open, and making the catch. Tim Brown, touchdown.
Oh, what a great catch. Haas almost overthrew it. A blown coverage on Tim Brown, and Haas almost overthrew it. Tim Brown saved it for him.
Crockett, Ray Crockett slips and falls down. But look at this effort by Tim Brown. Jeff Hostetler might have jumped off the bridge if he would have overthrown Tim Brown in that situation.
Raider fans might have thrown him off the bridge. Here's Ford for the point after, and he boots it through to give Oakland a 5-point lead. From the 28-yard line, and Elway throws, and it's incomplete. Second down. It's kind of an apples and oranges thing, how many comebacks quarterbacks have led.
Well, that time there appeared to be some confusion between Anthony Miller, Rod Smith, and John Elway. That's right. They were too close to one another downfield.
Second down and 10. Elway steps up, avoids the sack, throws, and the catch is made.
Yes.
Brought in by Miller, and they say that Miller was pushed out of bounds. So even though he came down on the chalk, it's because Terry McDaniel pushed him out. First down from the 40-yard line. Elway fires, and that's caught by Rod Smith, and that's a first down at the Oakland 49. Larry Brown with the coverage, soft. First down at the 49-yard line. Oakland up by 5. Low snap. Elway is there. Elway goes to the left side again, and that's incomplete. So they're working on Brown. This time, Mike Sherrard, the intended recipient. Second down.
And I'm not sure they'll stop working on Brown.
You know, one thing we should point out here, too, if the Raiders made one slight mistake at the end with a 4-point lead, they should have gone for 2 points. Instead, they opted for 1. We only say that because if the Broncos get down into field goal range and have to kick it here, it still gives them the opportunity to win the game with another 3-pointer. Anyway, just something to mull over as we get down toward the end. Second down and 10 from the 49 as Elway pump fakes, guns, incomplete through the hands of Anthony Miller.
Oh, and if John would like to have taken something off of that, he did not need to drill it to Miller as hard as he did, and he knows it.
Third and 10 at the 49. Elway, pump fake.
Uh-oh, he's wide
Elway,
open.
wide open is Rod Smith for the touchdown. Rod Smith.
He made a move to the inside. Everyone bought it, took it straight up, and Elway hung it up, and this crowd is stunned. Elway with all the time that Dan described, and just an easy touchdown.
You look at the pass protection. Look at that. No one from the Raiders was even getting close to John.
Broncos leading by a point, trying to make it a 3-point lead. Elway throws, coverage is tight, no flag, incomplete.
So just 1 point in it and 4 minutes left for the Raiders to score. They started out well with an 18-yard catch and run by Harvey Williams. Then Denver blitzes on consecutive plays. Forced 2 incomplete passes from Jeff Hostetler.
Big 3rd and 10 at the 43. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. They blitz again. Hostetler hangs in there, but it's a short pass to Brown, and he's tackled well shy of the first down.
Boy, 3 consecutive blitzes by the Broncos.
And after a 4-yard pickup, 4th down, and the Raiders take a timeout. They're second. They have only 1 left with 3:15 remaining in regulation. And now you've got a decision here for the Raiders. If you're Mike White, it's 4th down and 6. Do you take a chance and punt and try to pin Denver deep? But he takes the timeout here.
Yeah, well, I think
they wasted the timeout. You can't take the timeout here.
They should have punted, no question about it. I think by taking the timeout, they almost have to go for it now. But you're right, Frank. I agree with you. You don't take the timeout, you punt it.
There was no reason for that. That's the move. Now you've blown the timeout.
So they took the timeout, and they're going to punt.
Oh, yeah, that's just
wrong decision.
Horrible use of the clock.
And as things turned out, it backfired on Mike White. With only 1 timeout, the Raiders couldn't stop Denver from running out the clock. So Oakland never got the ball back for another chance to win the game. And the Broncos hold on to their 8th win in 9 games this season.
Move it on.
So the Broncos now joint owners of the best record in the league with the Packers. And next month they travel to Green Bay for what should be a big interconference test of strength. This Sunday, though, they're back home in Denver against another NFC Central team, Chicago. The Bears were at home to the Bucs last week and had middle linebacker Brian Cox playing with a broken thumb that really needed surgery. The middle of the Chicago defense really needs him, though, as he demonstrated on the game's opening series, stuffing Tampa's Eric Rett for no gain and forcing the Bucs to punt. Down 3-0 in the second quarter, Trent Dilfer threw downfield with the usual consequences.
As Dilfer going deep, it is picked off. Mark Carrier.
Dilfer's 13th interception of the season, followed almost immediately by Dave Craig's 6th.
Craig rolling right, looking for a receiver. Picked off by Donnie Abraham. The rookie 3rd-round pick out of East Tennessee State.
That gave Tampa the ball at the Bears' 18-yard line, and on the next play, Dilfer hit tight end Dave Moore for the touchdown and a 7-3 lead. The turning point of the game, though, was another Buccaneers turnover. Leading 10-6 in the third, Eric Rett, back after his long holdout, fumbled. Everyone thought the play had been whistled dead, except the Bears' Vincent Smith, who picked the ball off the ground and ran with it. Only Trent Dilfer had the presence of mind to get back and stop the touchdown. Then, after a big pass interference call, it was down to the goal line and the defensive line.
Here's Salah. Oh, and is he crushed?
Oh, man.
Chidi Ahanotu once again.
It doesn't get any better than that.
It certainly didn't for Tampa. Raymond Harris went in on 3rd down to make it 13-10 to Chicago. And the Bears' defense did the rest, stifling the league's lowest scoring team the rest of the way to hold on to their 3-point lead. It came at a cost, though. Brian Cox was ordered to have surgery after the game, and he'll miss the rest of the year for Chicago. Strange that it should be Brian Cox's thumb that puts him out for the season, when everyone knows that it's his middle finger that gets all the work. Anyway, time for fame now, and your chance to win, amongst other goodies, this handsome NFL volume, published to celebrate 75 years of the league last season. And if you look in the index here under M, you'll find Joe Green. The M in Joe Green stood for mean, his earned first name as opposed to the one he was given at birth. And this is how he earned it. When Steelers coach Chuck Noll drafted him, though, the reaction in Pittsburgh wasn't so much fear as bemusement. Nobody'd ever heard of the big defensive lineman from the small college in Texas, but word got round the league almost as quickly as he did. For a big man, Green was exceptionally fast off the line of scrimmage. As defensive tackle, his job was to close the middle of Pittsburgh's legendary steel curtain defense of the 70s. 20 years on, they're still the standard by which others are measured, and almost certainly the only defensive line ever to make it onto the cover of Time. The Steelers established themselves as the team of the decade with 4 Super Bowl wins in the 70s, thanks in large part to Green and company's relentless pursuit of the ball and ruthless punishment of anyone unfortunate enough to be in the general vicinity of it when they got there. In the meantime, his bad attitude had become such a trademark that he could command a hefty sum just to smile in somebody's TV ad.
Want my Coke?
Commercial restrictions and sheer good taste prevent us from bringing you any more of this heartwarming exchange. But suffice it to say that Joe was laughing all the way to the bank and still mean when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1987. Now, if you know your Steelers' history, you could be in the States next month getting a pre-Christmas tan and taking in a couple of games. The Bills against the Dolphins in Miami, then a 2-hour flight away in Atlanta, the Falcons at home to the Rams. Weekly winners get the NFL 75 Seasons book, one of the other prizes that makes up the goodie pile. What we want to know is how many times the Steelers have played in the Super Bowl. The competition number is 0891 444 444. The lines are open until midnight on Thursday, and one of these is the right answer, either 4, 5 or 8. Now, last week we asked you what the Jets were called before they were called the Jets, and the right answer was the Titans. After the break, the Cowboys and 49ers renew their rivalry. Then after the previews, the rest of last week's action. The Players of the Month from October. That's all in a couple of minutes.
I was sent to prison for murder and sexual assault. Every day is much the same. I get up about 8, spend the morning sitting reading. After dinner I might watch TV. Then about 3 o'clock is exercise time.
Despite talk of getting tough on crime, a disturbing number of escaped prisoners like this are at large on our streets. Find out why in the first of a 2-part investigation into crime in Britain, this Sunday only in The Observer.
1, 2, 3.
They can run from the law, but they can't escape each other.
For better, for worse, till death do us part.
Fled.
Littlewood's pools get a result.
To make sure you stay cool under pressure. The 1997 Laguna comes with air conditioning and an electric sunroof as standard. Laguna by Renault. It's all worked out beautifully.
Many Christmases ago, we promised permanently low prices forever. And we meant it. That's why this Christmas at Asda, you'll find our biggest ever range of Christmas gifts. Everything from gifts to wear to a cuddly bear, or even Buzz Lightyear. All at our lowest possible prices. We don't just believe in gimmicks, clever slogans, or a price cut here and there. There's just one price, a permanently low price. That's Asda price. And that's forever.
At 22:16 hours, we got a call that a man was acting erratically in the store. He's acting like a maniac. When we arrived on the scene, the store had been emptied of its customers because of the behavior of this gentleman. It took us a while to control the situation, and there was some frustration involved. We've had 3 incidences this week. I wouldn't go as far as to say epidemic. They're annoying.
What have we got?
Welcome back. I think the producer's trying to turn me into Val Dunican, but I refuse to rock. Anyway, time to preview some more of this week's matchups now, and there are a couple of big ones. Green Bay at Kansas City, 2 teams many people tipped before the season to reach the Super Bowl, and Dallas at San Francisco have won the last 4 Super Bowls between them, and whichever one of the 2 wins it usually has to beat the other one to get there.
Montana rolling out the right, looking toward the end zone, throwing under pressure, throws his pass, caught by Clark. Clark got him, touchdown.
Crowd is really into it. Aikman, a straight drop, good protection. Over the middle, it's caught by Kelvin Martin at the 2. Touchdown! Touchdown, Cowboys!
This team's going to Pasadena.
NFC champions, folks. Back to throw, short slant. Oh, Harper caught it, he's breaking away. 20, he's going to score. Dallas is going to win the NFC championship again.
Young thinking of a quarterback sneak again, breaks to the outside, dives into the goal line, touchdown 49ers!
Jerry said, Dion, if you out there. I said, I'm here, Jerry. Dallas is the place for you. And that was the first time I really seen in his eyes that he was really sincere and this could be a beautiful relationship. And that's when I made my decision a few weeks ago that I wanted to be a Dallas Cowboys.
No one individual won the Super Bowl. Deion Sanders came to this team it was like half the season when he came to this team. The players who went out there and won those games should get the recognition that they deserve. The Eric Davis, Tim McDonald, Merton Hanks, all of those guys. You guys didn't give them no respect, and that pisses me off.
I personally spent over $45 million in bonuses to not only put in place the players for the future, so that we can have the best opportunity we can to play a game like we're going to play Sunday against the 49ers.
You talk to him about Jerry a little bit. What's Jerry? Jerry Rice or the real Jerry, Jerry Jones?
Gerbach to throw it. Wide open is Jerry Rice, and off to the races is Jerry Rice. Rice, touchdown from Gerbach.
We look forward to competing and winning. Yet there are times when I get the sense that perhaps Dallas is interested in dominating and destroying.
When he starts his meetings off a lot of times, speaking to people in San Francisco, he steps up there and in kind of a sarcastic way says, "How about them Cowboys?" And I'd kind of like to change that tone a little bit, and maybe we can start with our game.
Well, before their head-on clash with San Francisco, Dallas went cheek to cheek with Philadelphia. And Ty Detmer, who's been brilliant since stepping in for Rodney Peete, stepped into the end zone on the quarterback draw to give the Eagles the halftime lead. But in the fourth quarter, Emmitt Smith, who'd scored the game's opening touchdown with a catch from Troy Aikman, got the Cowboys back into it on the ground.
Emmitt Smith again. Touchdown.
Down 3 with 40 seconds left, the Cowboys knew they could kick a field goal to tie, went for the end zone and found the Eagles' James Willis. The rest of the story is narrated by Jerry Jones in body language. Jerry watching as Willis lateral to Troy Vincent, and he took it 105 yards the other way for the touchdown.
Talk about disaster. Unbelievable.
Jerry Rice entered the 49ers game against the Saints, 3 catches short of 1,000 for his career. Number 998 was a nice low catch, but for no gain. 999 was easier and more productive.
Play action by Young. Deep. Rice wide open. Touchdown.
He almost repeated the trick for his 1000th, beating Eric Allen, just failing to get across the goal line. Rice is the first wideout ever to receive a grand, at least on the field. And by the time he's finished, his record could well be unbreakable. Now, if I said that Pittsburgh was second in the AFC in takeaways, it'd be no great surprise. Aggressive, opportunistic defense is how the Steelers make their living. The surprise is the team they're second to, the Bengals, who have 27, an average of 3 a game. The problem Bruce Coslet had when he took over as head coach was making them count. Well, the defense did their job again at Baltimore last week with 4 interceptions. And for the second week running, the offense made good use of them, turning the takeaways into 13 points.
Blitz, quarterback draw, he goes in standing up.
The Bengals came from 21-3 down to tie the game. And Doug Pelfrey won it for them with a last-second field goal. Their second comeback in 2 games under Coslet, and their second win. The Steelers, meanwhile, were turning the Rams over at home. The defense wasn't the big story of the day in Pittsburgh. It was finger-popping Jerome Bettis, the running back, with a point or 12 to make against the team that let him go in the summer.
Tom Zach hands to Bettis. Jerome Bettis. Goodbye.
Bettis out-rushing the entire Rams defense, on his way to out-rushing the entire Rams offense. 2 touchdowns for Jerome, and a big home win for Pittsburgh.
Well, I was pretty pumped up. I mean, I'm not going to say that I wasn't jacked for this one because I was. Me and Timmy Lester, we're roommates at the hotel, and that doesn't help when when the Rams cut Tim Lester and then they do what they did to me, and for us both to be in the same room the night before the game,
All football games are physical, but some are more physical than others, like the Bills, whose defense specializes in punishing the opposing quarterback, against the Eagles, whose defense specializes in punishing the opposing quarterback. It'll be an interesting matchup in coaching styles too. The terse, intense Ray Rhodes and the more literate and outwardly laid-back Marv Levy, whose latest catchphrase is sweeping the nation, or at least Buffalo.
Where else would you rather be?
And right here, right now.
Thank you very much.
The Redskins' defense, as it turned out, would rather have been just about anywhere else. They gave up 1 rushing touchdown to the old stager Thurman Thomas and 3 to his young successor, Derek Holmes. They were enough to end Washington's 7-game winning streak and restart the Super Bowl talk in the stands at Rich Stadium.
We're on our way to New Orleans.
We got 7 more games before the playoffs, and I'm telling you, you're going to see us in New Orleans. We'll be there.
I'll see you there.
When Elvis was still at his playing weight, these 2 teams met in Super Bowl I, where Bart Starr led the Packers to a 35-10 win over the Chiefs. The sentimentalists around the league are rooting for a rematch in Super Bowl 31. The focus last week, though, was on number 32, Marcus Allen, as he closed in on Walter Payton's rushing touchdowns record against the Vikings.
Marcus Allen over the top.
And this week, all eyes will be on him breaking it. Allen's touchdown run and a couple from Greg Hill were enough to beat Minnesota. Last week, the Packers defense got plenty of practice against the run.
Barry Sanders cuts back. Avoids one. One on his feet. He's going to the end zone. Oh, you believe that?
The Lions, though, were without the injured Scott Mitchell, while Green Bay had Brett Favre doing his own Barry moves in the backfield and hitting Terry Mickens for the first 2 touchdowns of his career. The Packers' receiving corps has taken a battering this year, and Don Beebe looked like becoming the latest casualty, sustaining 2 vicious hits. But if you don't nail him as the ball arrives, it's pointless chasing him afterwards.
Looking the long ball. BB is open. And he could go. Touchdown, Packers.
Beebe's still among the fastest men in the league on the end of one of Brett Favre's 4 touchdown passes. Those are the big games this week. Here's a look at the full fixture list. Now, Scott Mitchell missed that game because of a rib injury, and we've got exclusive video showing how the damage occurred. It was the weight of the false beer gut he wore impersonating Wayne Fontes at Halloween.
I want to apologize for pulling my quarterback. I shouldn't have done it. Wayno!
Now, considering that Mitchell had got into a shouting match with his coach the week before when Fontes pulled him off in the second quarter against the Giants, you might think that Lions quarterback was pushing his luck a bit, but publicly at least, Wayne was showing that he could take a joke.
The only thing I wanted to know, I asked him, did I have a good time? And number two, I was very, very disappointed that he had a very, very cheap cigar. And my cigars are usually more expensive than that.
Now, Wayne might not be in such a good humor by the end of the season because he may not be in a job. Last year, he escaped the sack by making the playoffs. This year, he's been told he's got to get to the playoffs and win a game. So after the Lions' third straight defeat, Halloween blended straight into that other mainstay of the Michigan calendar, Wayne Watch.
It's on every year at this time. It's very difficult for me to think there's a Wayne Watch on. You know, for 4 years in a row we're in the playoffs. We're still 4-4. We're not out of it. Watch somebody else.
Don't worry, Wayne. You'll have plenty of company on death row by the end of the season. And the current favourite to be in the cell next door is the Falcons' June Jones. Atlanta went into the second half of the season without a win, with an increasingly impressive ground game in the shape of Jamal Anderson. Anderson with a 31-yard run, J.J. Burden with a 15-yard catch and run. The Falcons finally did what they'd threatened to do in close games against the Steelers and Cowboys, win.
It felt good. It felt good. You know, coming away, you can't explain it. You know, we've had some tough losses this year against some pretty good teams. To finally get a win against a talented team, it felt good.
Goes to the air on first down and wide open into Seattle territory is Chris Sims, who gets loose, and they're not going to catch him. He's in. 37. What? Oh! And that is Robert Blackman going the distance. Do you believe it? Blitz, Harbaugh, and intercepted for the third time. Terrell Shaw. Salisbury wide open, catch made by Charlie Jones, and Jones has the touchdown.
Dave Brown has been sacked more than any quarterback in the National Football League. And if that continues to happen to you, you're looking for an injury before the year's there.
And now on the move, he's got the receiver, Lewis, touchdown. And you just saw Danny Cannell throw his first NFL touchdown.
Third touchdown of the game. First down, Bledsoe again underneath to Coates. Breaks a tackle. Big man can run. Ben Coates, touchdown. 84 yards. Oh, my.
That's it for Blitz. The big match on Monday night, we'll be keeping an eye on both the big games, Green Bay at Kansas City and Dallas at San Francisco. And afterwards, I'll be lurking live on the internet for anyone who just can't sleep with the excitement of it all. Well, we opened the show with the league's leading rusher, Terrell Davis. We're going to go out with some of the other players who've had a big impact over the last month. See you next week.
Detmer's pass. Touchdown, Eagles. Detmer throwing. Touchdown again, Irving Flyer. And again, Detmer looking end zone. And throwing. Touchdown. Irving Flyer again. And Detmer throwing. He has Flyer again. That's 4 for Irving Flyer. Banks. He fumbles, lost the football.
He's gone. Green's gone.
Kevin Green will go all the way.
He looked like he was going into the swimming pool. Let's go, Romanowski! You make me sick with that old tough guy image. All right, Romanowski! Romanowski! Yeah! 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 Oh, I gotta be a little crazy to play this game.
Terry Allen is over for his third touchdown of the first half.
First down, Allen again breaks free. Terry Allen, he has the hat trick. Allen cuts back, touchdown.
Man, forgot my helmet. I'm about to pull a Thurman Thomas. Trying to make me pull a Thurman Thomas.
Elway out of the shotgun. Stepping up, under pressure. Scrambles for time. Throws, caught in the back of the end zone by Shannon Sharp.